When I was 14, I witnessed my mother's infant die during a home delivery, and then she took another woman's newborn from the hospital nursery. She forced me to stay silent for 2 years, threatening to suffocate the stolen child if anyone discovered the truth. After I finally contacted the authorities and she was arrested, her attorney relayed a chilling message. She'd warned she'd kill her daughter if caught, but never clarified which one. Have you ever been forced to hide a devastating secret? At 14, I saw my mother's newborn daughter perish during a home birth. Hours later, she returned from the hospital with another woman's baby, warning me that if I spoke, she'd end the child's life before facing jail. My parents had struggled for years to have another child, so when Mom announced her pregnancy, Dad saw it as a miracle. What he didn't know was the baby wasn't his. I'd caught Mom with her fitness coach and she pleaded with me to keep it hidden. "Your father must never know," she said. "This baby will hold our family together." So I stayed quiet through her pregnancy, desperate to keep our family intact, unaware of the horror awaiting. Watching Dad buy baby supplies and decorate a nursery for a child that wasn't his felt like agony, but nothing prepared me for what came next. Mom went into labor while Dad was away at a medical conference. She insisted on a home birth, refusing the hospital. I suspect she feared tests would reveal her secret. So at 3 a.m., it was just us in the bathroom when everything went wrong. The baby emerged lifeless, blue, and still. Mom tried desperately, but the infant was gone. We sat on the blood-soaked floor, cradling the tiny body, while Dad's voicemail echoed with excitement about meeting his daughter. "She can't know," Mom said, suddenly composed. "Get ready. We're going to the hospital." I thought she meant to report the loss, but she parked at the emergency entrance and told me to stay put. She still had her old hospital volunteer badge from years of charity work. 40 minutes later, she returned with a baby, not hers, but stolen from the nursery. There was a teenage mother, a drug addict, she claimed. "This baby's better off with us." She was lying. The real mother was a 17-year-old named Alyssa, poor but not an addict, who loved her daughter. I didn't know that then. I protested, saying it was wrong, but Mom slapped me hard in the hallway, the baby in her other arm, my ears ringing from the blow. We drove home with a stranger's child while somewhere in the hospital, a young mother wailed for her missing baby. Mom called Dad, weeping with fake joy, saying she delivered early and everything was fine. Could he come home to meet Lily? Dad was ecstatic. Alyssa never stopped searching and missing child posters plastered our town. I begged Mom privately to return Lily, but she delivered a chilling ultimatum. "If they find out Lily dies, I'll smother her before I let them take me." I was trapped, unable to return this beautiful baby I was growing to love who wasn't ours. I researched safe haven laws, anonymous drop-offs, anything to return her without risking her life, but Mom watched me constantly, her threats clear. She'd never let Lily go, she'd kill her first. She'd stroke Lily's hair while saying this, her tone both gentle and menacing. Meanwhile, Dad and I adored this child who wasn't ours. He'd compare her baby photos to his, convinced they shared features. Lily called me Sissy and clung to me when frightened. I loved her despite knowing it was wrong, and I never stopped searching for a way to reach Alyssa without endangering Lily. When Lily turned 2, she fell ill with pneumonia. The hospital needed a medical history we couldn't provide. Dad was confused by Mom's vague answers about the birth. They wanted genetic tests for potential conditions. Mom pulled me aside in the waiting room. "If they test her, we leave," she said, but Lily was too sick to move. Despite Mom's objections, the doctors ran tests. The results showed Lily's blood type couldn't match Mom and Dad's. The doctor suggested a mistake, but Dad, a surgeon, understood genetics. He ordered more tests, ignoring Mom's protests. That night, Mom packed a bag for Lily, saying they were leaving regardless of the doctor's advice. I'd reached my breaking point. This child was dying and needed proper care. From a hospital bathroom, I called the tip line, giving our names and Lily's location. Then I returned to Lily's room, where Mom was holding her, humming softly. Police arrived within the hour. Mom saw them through the window and knew I'd betrayed her. "I warned you," she whispered, pressing her hand over Lily's nose and mouth. I screamed and nurses rushed in, pulling her away. They revived Lily while police restrained Mom. Mom was arrested as Dad stood frozen, unable to comprehend that his miracle child was stolen. The next day, Lily was reunited with Alyssa. I watched from across the hospital lobby as the teenage mother collapsed, holding her daughter after 2 years apart. But Lily screamed for me, reaching over Alyssa's shoulder, crying, "Sissy." Sissy, she didn't know this sobbing stranger was her mother. They led Alyssa away with a distraught Lily as I stood there, knowing I'd saved her but shattered her world. My heart pounded. Then Mom's lawyer delivered a message. I said I'd kill my daughter if caught. I never said which one. The words echoed like a tocsin. My hands trembled as Alyssa and Lily disappeared down the hall, Lily's cries fading. Dad stumbled past, his face vacant, heading for the exit. I wanted to follow to explain, but my legs wouldn't move. A nurse gently guided me to a chair, offering water I couldn't hold steady. Police needed my statement. In a buzzing, fluorescent room, Detective Adelaide, a kind-eyed officer, took notes as I recounted the home birth, the dead infant, the nursery theft, and Mom's threats to kill Lily. My voice broke as I described calling the tip line. Adelaide said I'd done right, but her words felt empty. Had I? Lily was safe but traumatized, Dad's world was broken, and Mom's new threat chilled me. After hours of questions, a social worker, Mrs. Kim, drove me home since Dad had left alone. The house felt eerie, too silent. Mrs. Kim found Dad in his study, staring at Lily's photos on his phone, her first birthday, her first steps, her laughing in the sprinkler. Each was a lie we'd lived. Mrs. Kim ensured Dad would care for me before leaving. But once she was gone, Dad locked himself in his room. His deep sobs seeped through the walls. I sat outside his door, hugging my knees. Reporters called relentlessly, and I unplugged the phones, turned off my cell, and ignored the doorbell as news vans gathered outside. I locked every door, drew every curtain. That first night was endless. I couldn't sleep, haunted by Mom's hand over Lily's face and Lily's cries for me. I checked the locks repeatedly, fearing Mom's impossible presence despite her arrest. Morning came, and Dad emerged, hollow, making coffee he didn't drink. We sat in heavy silence until he asked how long I'd known. I told him about Mom's affair, keeping it secret to save our family, the dead baby, and the theft. He vomited in the sink, gripping the counter, asking why I hadn't told him. My explanations, fear, being 14, Mom's threats, felt inadequate. He left again, destination unknown. I was alone with Lily's toys scattered in the living room, her drawings on the fridge, her sippy cup in the sink. I couldn't touch them. That afternoon, Dad's lawyer, Mr. Brennan, arrived, needing details about Mom's pregnancy and the birth. Why did Mom still have an active volunteer badge? It made me wonder if she'd planned this with contingencies for a failed birth. I retold my story, each repetition surreal. Mom faced charges of kidnapping, child endangerment, and attempted murder. I'd have to testify, a daunting prospect, but I nodded for Lily's sake. Mr. Brennan revealed Mom had refused bail, staying in jail with phone and letter privileges. Her threat about which daughter felt like a vow she could keep from behind bars. That evening, we picked a takeout as the TV blared our story, calling it the stolen baby case. They showed Lily's missing poster photo and interviewed neighbors with false suspicions. Dad turned it off, finally meeting my eyes. His were red, empty. He apologized for abandoning me, for not shielding me from Mom's secrets. His hug was desperate and we cried together, but her threat lingered. Which daughter? Was it me? I was 16 and my mother might want me dead. Her first letter came 3 days later on prison stationery, her handwriting precise. She wrote about missing me, bad jail food, and hoping I was studying, normal motherly words. But a postscript froze me. A girl my age had an accident walking home. Such dangerous roads, she wrote. Be careful. I showed Dad, who crumpled it, then retrieved it for evidence. The next letter described a dream of me falling downstairs, urging me to hold the railing. Dad's hands shook reading it. Mr. Brennan warned that vague threats were hard to prove. I changed my school route. Dad drove me varying streets daily. We upgraded locks and added cameras. Dad barely slept, checking monitors at night. I caught him watching me sleep at 3 a.m. Mom's third letter included a clipping about a house fire killing a 16-year-old my age circled. She wrote about praying for the family. Dad took it to the police, but it wasn't enough to act on. School was my refuge until peers learned of the case. Some pitied me, others shunned me. My friend Max stayed loyal but grew uneasy about Mom's letters. Then I noticed a car outside school, a sedan with tinted windows there daily. Police traced it to Josephine, Mom's former cellmate, recently released. Dad pulled me from school and we stayed with his brother 3 towns away. But Mom knew. Her next letter mentioned the diner we'd visited there, saying family support must be nice. Our mailbox was smashed when we returned, a clear warning. That night, a rock crashed through my window with a note in Mom's handwriting. Sleep tight, darling. Police increased patrols but couldn't be constant. Dad took leave, sleeping outside my room with a bat. Mom's daily letters grew darker, detailing accidents and illnesses befalling teenage girls, never directly threatening. A restraining order was denied for lack of explicit threats. Then Mom slipped. She called home, breaking the no-contact order. A recorded phone caught her sweet voice asking about school, then mentioning Josephine's nephew, Benjamin, at my school. "Such a nice boy," she said. I knew Benjamin, he'd been watching me everywhere. Dad gave the recording to Adelaide, who questioned Josephine. Her apartment held photos of me walking, shopping, even through my window. Josephine was arrested for stalking. Benjamin claimed innocence and his schedule was changed to avoid me. Mom's letters continued, now accusing me of betraying her friend. She was just keeping me safe, she claimed. Dad mapped her prison contacts, revealing a vast network. Another ex-cellmate, Jamie, contacted Mr. Brennan, scared. Mom had offered her $5,000 to arrange an accident to hospitalize me where a contact would finish it. Jamie refused, but knew Mom would find another. Her tip led to recordings of Mom planning my harm, calm and calculated. The same day, a music box arrived at school, playing Lily's lullaby with a note. "For my daughter." Both of them? It was clean of poison or devices, but the message was clear. Mom had killed one daughter and could kill another. That night at a hotel after a false fire alarm, I saw Josephine watching us. Our room smelled of Mom's perfume, with a photo of her stealing Lily left on my pillow. Cameras had failed and Josephine vanished. Dad, desperate, contacted Alyssa's lawyer. He proposed Alyssa sue Mom civilly to demand answers about her dead baby, hoping to distract Mom. Alyssa agreed, not for us but for closure. The lawsuit was filed, and Mom erupted in prison, attacking an inmate and landing in solitary. Her network crumbled as inmates turned on her for crossing moral lines. Josephine made one last move, grabbing me at a gas station. I fought back, trained in self-defense, and screamed. A bystander detained her until police arrived, finding rope, tape, and Mom's instructions in her car. Josephine flipped, providing evidence that dismantled Mom's network. Mom was moved to maximum security, privileges revoked. Her trial loomed with airtight charges: conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, intimidation. She faced life without parole, but I still felt unsafe, every shadow a threat. Dad and I lived on edge, our family shattered. Then Mr. Brennan shared news. Mom would plead guilty for life without parole, but only if she could reveal the truth about Alyssa's baby. In a high-security prison meeting, Mom, shackled, admitted the baby was born dead, hidden in our garage freezer, then buried in the woods. She drew a map for the police to find the remains. Alyssa sobbed, finally able to grieve her daughter. Mom stared at the camera, knowing I watched. Her eyes were cold, her last secret exposed. She had no power left. Leaving the prison, I felt the fear loosen. Mom was gone forever, her network broken. We reclaimed our home, packing Lily's things, repainting, rebuilding. Dad started therapy, I returned to school. Max shielded me from gossip. We adopted a dog, found laughter again. Alyssa sent a letter thanking us with a photo of Lily happy on a swing. I cried, knowing I'd saved her but lost her. Dad held me as we grieved our broken family but felt relief we'd survived. Mom's guilty plea brought justice but not healing. That was ours to build. We considered moving but stayed, refusing to let Mom win. New friends, Dad's kind girlfriend, our goofy dog, they brought normalcy. The fear lingered, a quiet hum, but we chose hope, reclaiming our future from Mom's lies.